In this lesson, we're going to create the layered patterns on our boots. Alright, so we've got our boot in, and what we want to do is we want to go ahead and make sure that we have a higher subdivision level on this. So I'm going to go up, and I'm going to hit Control D one more time, and we're going to get pretty high on this one. I'm going to come in and just kind of smooth out the top of that boot just a little bit. We can come in with a standard brush or the clay build-up brush and kind of work on that, but just want to make sure that we get a nice smooth look to this. Now, let's go ahead and hold down Control with a smaller brush size on this, and we're going to hold down Control, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to start masking out a pattern for my boot. So come in and I'll just start masking this out, and I'm going to go all the way down to the sole of the boot and at least get pretty close as I can at least. And again, we're not worrying about the other boot at this time. We'll just finish this one out, and then we'll actually duplicate it over. Okay. So just kind of coming in, masking it, trying to get as sharp as I can right up against the sole of that. And then we'll go from there. If you want, you can actually just hide everything except for the boot. At this point, we don't really need that. And I'll come in, and I'll just start to mask this out. We try to keep this, pretty low. We don't want to get too high resolution whenever we extract this, because if we do that, whenever we try to do sculpting like folds and things like that, if it's needed, coming in too high may be a problem. So I'm going to go to the front of this. I'm going to hold down Control and Shift, and I'm going to, or actually not Control and Shift, excuse me. Control and Alt, and I'm going to just kind of flatten that out. I'm going to do a little bit of work on reshaping this new layer. So something kind of like that. And there we go. Okay, got a nice little pattern going there. Now, if you want, you can also do the same thing along the back side, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And I'm just going to come in here and paint this. I'm going to create another section of that. And you could really create any pattern that you want at this point. I'm just kind of marking out what I want that to look like. Now again, you'll want to make sure that you are not really getting anything on the sole of that. And if you miss some of this, if you miss some of this across the bottom of that, it's not really that big a deal. It's just we really don't want anything from the sole of the boot. And I think we were actually pretty good on that. Didn't see anything that really stuck out to me. Alright, so there we've got this pattern. I like that. Let's go ahead and hold down Control, and let's just click outside of that, just kind of check what we have here. And you can see that I got a little bit too much right here, so I'm going to hold down Control. You can just come right across the bottom there, just like that. So sometimes inverting it can help you see what you have and what you don't have. Okay, so now let's hold down Control, click outside of that, because now we want to extract what we have masked here. So I'm going to come down in our subtool, and let's close that. Let's go to Extract. Thickness on this, let's go ahead and hit extract with this default. Let's go ahead and turn off double on that. 0.02, let's hit extract. Ooh, that's way too much. Okay, let's go ahead and just rotate around. Let's drop that down to 0.002, and let's extract that. That gives us a good thickness on that. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that, and you'll see that we get some of these areas. It looks kind of, it's not real smooth. Okay, but that's okay. What I'll do is I'll come in with my move brush, and just to kind of moderately low size on that, and let's actually make sure we're using the extract to turn off that mask there. And actually, you know what? With that mask there, you might actually come in and be able to smooth that out a little bit without affecting too much of that. So a lot of that was pretty smooth. I'm going to do the same thing across the top here, especially this back here. That's way too much curvature along that. So really want to make sure that that gets nice and smooth. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I like that too much. I'm going to try and back that up a little bit. Because even though we had that, I felt like that was, just felt like that was a little too much there. Okay. Let's grab our move brush. And with that move brush and the extract selected, let's just kind of move some points around a little bit and try to smooth it out that way. And I'll come in, I can just use my smooth, kind of get rid of some of that crease that came from the sole there on the boot. Okay. And smooth it out a little bit. And then take your move brush, and I just want to pull the bottom of that into the boot a little bit closer. So something like this. Okay. And let me take this. I'm just going to try to round that out a little bit more. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Not just yet. And I'm just pulling and pushing points. And then hold down Shift. Oh, man. It's kind of tough. Tell you what. With this selected, let's do something really quickly. Let's go to Z-Remesher under our geometry. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my polygon size in half. Let's do remesh. Let's try to set our adaptive size to about 20 and Z-Remesher. That's going to lower that down. It should start to smooth that out, and that looks pretty good. If you wanted to go even further than that, so instead of it being 2, let's just go down to about 1,000 points. Really remesh that. Okay, notice how it gets nice and round, and then from here, if I hit Control D and I start to duplicate that up, it gets really smooth. Okay, and that also helps out with some of the problems that we were having down here at the bottom. So, a couple of things. Just if one method isn't working out, you can try something a little bit different. ZBrush is very flexible. That's why I love it so much. Can give us really great results. All right, now on these pieces, I don't want them to just kind of just stick there. I need them to butt right up against that sole, and it's going to create a nice hard crease where that comes together. And then on this, I'm going to try and pull that out a little bit more. So it looks like that. Across the back here. So it gets this nice little curve right down here to the bottom. And pull that out away from the boot a little bit. Okay. Alright, great. Then, let's pull that down. Alright, looking good. Alright, so I'm really happy with the way this is coming out so far. I just want to do just a little bit more down here along the sole of the boot here. And this is just going to be another layer of the boot. It's going to fit right over the top of that. And then we'll come in with our standard brush, so B, S, and T, a lower draw size, and I'm going to create just a little bit of a seam around the edges of this, just to kind of make that pull off of there a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to our stroke, turn on lazy mouse, take that step down to 0, take this up to about 40, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to just draw around the edge of that. Now you'll see that that's coming up pretty high. My Z intensity is causing that to come up really quickly. You could also adjust your depth, but I like going and just adjusting the Z intensity a little bit. Okay, so we'll just kind of draw around the edges there. And notice how it makes that puff a little bit. And that lets us know that this is layered. Okay, and so we'll create some stitching that comes up right up underneath that. Okay, making that look nice and neat there. Lift it up off of that. And we'll do the same thing across the back here. Okay. So something like that. All right, very good. All right, now there's one more element that I want to add to the boot, and I actually want to add something that looks kind of like a strap going across there and a buckle. So I'm going to show you how we can use the curve tool or the curve brush to actually give us this nice little strap that we can use. And so we'll get into that next.